Now, hey guys, we're live. We're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addict, and today my special guest is Angie Resells. How are you doing, Angie?
I'm great. Just having a great day in Florida here. It's a little chilly for Florida, but it's still like 60 degrees today. And just got home from yard sailing, so got some listing to do.
All right, awesome. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today, guys. We're going to be listing some items. I got a big box. I don't know. I'll show you guys. I had this big box that came in the mail, and I think I paid $40 plus shipping. It's empty right now, but I had this big box that I ordered a bunch of DVDs. And so you just have to look at things in a little different light. I look at it like, man, I spent $50, but if I get 100 of these guys and I can sell them for $10 a piece times 100, then now you're turning your $50 investment into $1,000. So don't look at it almost as like a lateral thing. Just look at it as what you can do. So anyways, it's been a minute. I was looking on my phone last night and I was like, you know what? I haven't talked to Angie since last year. I think it was sometime in December in 2020 since I got to talk to you last. So
I think that's about right.
What's been going on in your world? Tell me all the good, the bad, the ugly. Tell me everything that's been happening, because you said I think it was a couple weeks ago you went full time. Now you're a full time reseller.
That's right. I've been an accountant for a lot of years, and I just finally was at a job I was just super unhappy with, and decided it was time to make a move, and so I did. And granted, it wasn't completely planned. I had thought about doing it, but it wasn't planned that day. But I was really happy that it happened. Nervous at first, but I am doing great so far. So I am happy to be a full-time reseller finally. Again, I was it years ago, and so far so good.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how that's working out, because when you're self-employed, I think one thing that a lot of people really struggle with is this like whole time management thing, because you're not told to clock in at a certain time and clock out at a certain time.
Right.
So if you sit back and get comfortable, an hour or 2 hours go by, so it goes by quick. So how has that been going for you?
It took me a bit to get used to having a different schedule, because I want to source every day. That's the best, the fun part.
Right.
So making a switch from, sourcing to immediately getting home and processing and starting to list. And, the more you list, the more shipping you have. So my shipping is taking a lot longer, but that's a good problem to have.
Right. Well, it sounds like things are going well for you. How has your sales been? Your sales have been up or down, or how's it been going? Because you had more time to list. So in theory, you should get more items listed and your sales should be going up a little bit, not instantaneously, but little by little, right?
Absolutely. And that's the goal, is every week to do slightly better than the week before. And right now, when I went full time, I was down to like 1,200 listings. And my goal is to be at 2,500 listings by the end of the year. So I have plenty of time. So I've built up, I'm several hundred higher now than I was. So it's slowly coming there, but it just means I'm selling a lot more too. So
well, that's kind of the way it works. The more items you list, all of a sudden you start making sales. So sounds like to me, it's a good problem to have. I wanted to say hey to Jen Closet is in the chat. She says, hey, Angie and Jeff. And I wanted to say hey to Meritic7, says, good morning, eBay Addicts and Angie Resells. Thank you guys for coming by and hanging out with us today. We're just doing kind of a low-key listing live, so we're just going to be kind of relaxed and chilling and hanging out. So if you have questions, you can drop it in the chat if you want to hang out and list, or whatever. We're just going to do kind of relax a little bit. Jen says, how is your family transition to you being full-time reseller now, or does it even affect them?
Of course it affects them. And my household is now, we're a full house. My mom has lived with me for about the last 7 years or so. She moved from Ohio to be down here. And my 23-year-old daughter moved back home to go back to college again. She already has a bachelor's degree. And then I have my 20-year-old who lives here as well. So when my 23-year-old moved back, I lost my office. So if you look, I'm in my bedroom until they move out again. But we've always been an eBay family. I literally started doing eBay when my oldest was 5 months old. So they're very familiar with it. It's just the amount that we do is a lot more. And quite honestly, I'm I made a lot more money because I was doing practically eBay full-time before, and I had a full-time income. So the things that I, were blowing money on, we have tailored that way down. But that's probably the biggest thing, is we're not spending money on junk that we don't need anyways. But I don't think I could have done it, Jen, if I wasn't debt-free. I worry about people who want to go eBay full-time and they still have car payments and credit card payments and all that kind of thing. I have no debt at all, so that makes it a huge difference for my family.
Yeah, you sleep a lot better when you don't have to worry about someone calling you up for a credit card payment, or you're behind on a bill and someone's calling about, hey, we're going to come repo your car. You sleep a lot better at night. Yeah, for the year 2020, exactly. I focused a lot of my energy on just, lowering my monthly expenses. My biggest goal was just have my car paid off and not have any car payments. And once you're able to do that and you're able to minimize your expenses and minimize your overhead, it's like night and day difference. Like there's little things that you can do. Like I had a cell phone bill with Sprint. I was paying $200 a month cell phone bill with Sprint, and I switched to T-Mobile, and now my bill's like $50 a month. Or going from paying $300 a month car payment to $0 a month car payments. Or like where I was living before, I think I was paying $1,200 a month in rent to $350 a month in rent. So any little thing that you can do, it doesn't sound like a lot at first, but when you start chunking it down little by little by little, it all starts adding up. And so it definitely can give you I was going to say another better lease on life, but it'll help you sleep better at night. I'll put it like that. When you don't have to worry about nobody calling you, you don't have any creditors calling you, threatening you, leaving you nasty voice messages, your stress level goes down, you sleep better. I just think it's way better that way, So.
Absolutely. I'm a Dave Ramsey follower, so it sounds like Jen is too. She did her 6-month emergency savings. And it, I snowballed my debt I had a lot of debt, and eBay got me out of debt. So, which was amazing, but I definitely wouldn't be able to do it now. And it's just nice to know that if I don't have a crazy sales week, or it's a little slow one week, I don't have to worry about bills not being paid, because other than utilities and insurance and things, I don't have any bills. So that makes it so much easier. So. Yeah,
I'm with you. I've been doing this thing lately where it's like I've been trying to pay all my bills. Like we're still in the middle of March, so I've been trying to pay everything for the month of April in advance. So that way when it gets here, I don't even have to think about it. So I went the other day and I gave the landlord the rent. I was like, I'm like, here's the rent for April. And they looked up at the calendar and they said, but it's the 15th. I was like, no, don't worry about it. Just go ahead. Just take it. So that way I don't even have to think about it. If the first of the month will come and go and I'll be in bed sleeping. I won't even know. Exactly. I won't have to be running around at the last minute. You just kind of, if you can kind of whack-a-mole and take care of it in advance, then you're like I said, it's one less thing you got to worry about. And when I can kind of operate on cruise control and I don't have to worry about, I got to pay this cell phone bill or I got to pay this or that. It's like you run almost like on autopilot. Then I would say like it puts you in a position to do what you do best, because now you can go out sourcing, you can hit out yard sales, estate sales, you can go out and do what you need to do, because you don't have this thing in the back of your mind like, oh crap, did I pay my cell phone bill this month? Is a light bill going to get cut off? You've already got it taken care of, So that's awesome.
It's definitely free.
Yeah, I wanted to say hey to the Middleman Picker is in the house. He says, hello, everybody. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Yeah. So
I picked this up today.
What is this?
I don't even know what it is. RF.
You know what? That looks like one of those things that where you have one of those CB radios. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know if that's what it is or not.
I think it is.
You know what you could do, Angie? You take a picture of it with your cell phone, and then go to images on eBay, and maybe something will show up that looks like that.
It's there on eBay, and I paid $15 for it. It's an RF signal generator, but I think it has to do with bulbs for TVs or something, like the old TVs.
Oh,
I'm not sure, but I know it works and everything. So I'm going to list this. Bought it for $15 today. It looks like it will easily sell for $75. So that's a good one.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
What are you listing today, Jeff?
I'm in the process. Like I said, I'm finishing up these DVDs. I got 100 of them in the mail. So that's what I've been doing lately is I've been buying stuff in bulk and then having it shipped to my house. I'll buy 1,000 CDs, or I bought a couple weeks ago, I bought 200 Blu-rays, and then I'll just sit down and focus on that, because when I list these media items, they're free listings. You get 0 insertion fees,
Right.
and so you don't have to pay any type of fees. And so if it doesn't sell at the end of the 30 days, it'll just auto relist, so you don't have to pay any extra fees. And so, like I said, if I pay something like this for 50 cents and it sells for $10, $11, it doesn't sound like a lot of money. But if you multiply that by 100, now you're taking your initial buy cost, which was $50, and turn it into 1,000. And like I said, your buy cost is really low. And another thing is, I'll tell you guys the secret is, when you're on eBay, if there's nobody else that has this particular item, instead of me listing it for $10, now it might sell for 20, 25, $30, because nobody else has it. And since it's more rare on eBay, then it's due to supply and demand. There's less of them available. You can charge more money for them. Yeah, I just sold a remote a minute ago, but that's what I'm up to today, is listing the rest of these DVDs. And so, you just have to, I was watching Chris from Daily Refinement yesterday, and he was saying that, if you can list so many items per hour, he was like, you should be making like $50 an hour. He's like, that's more than 80, 90% of the country. So that's the way I try to look at it. Instead of trying to hit a home run on every item that I touch, if I can say, hey, I'm going to make, $9, $10 on this one item, but I got 100 of them listed today. So to me, I'm like, that's $1,000 worth of merchandise. And if you just keep doing it every single day or every week, your store will grow, and it'll almost be on autopilot. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's like, isn't it nice to be able to just live your life on autopilot, and whatever the stuff sells, drop it in a little 6x9 paddle envelope and ship it out. So Angie, I didn't mean to bug you today, but I was curious how that's been going for you since you become a full-time reseller. I mean, have you had more time to go sourcing? Have you had more time to do like yard sales? Like, tell me the thing that you love about it the most and what you hate about it the most. Because the thing to me is, you don't have like a guaranteed check coming in every week right now. So that's a big adjustment.
Well, the stimulus helped a little bit, but I'm one of those people, I just put it in savings. But basically, it frees me up for sure. I pretty much go to some kind of sourcing every day, but Sunday, because there's not a lot of great places on Sunday. So that's my day off where I just list like crazy. And my thing is, I'm still figuring out the transition, how to work my whole day. The great thing is, I don't have anyone who needs my attention. I don't have little kids or anything. So I can work anytime I want, but when you're home all the time, you get distracted. You start watching YouTube people that you love, or Hulu comes on and something good is on. And I find I'm like staring at this monitor when I really should be looking at this one and listing. So. Right.
Well, we're going to work on the multitasking. That's it. Yes. I think you'll get it. You'll get the hang of it. The more you do it, the better at it you'll get.
Yeah, I'm great at that with accounting, but not so great at it with eBay, I've found.
Well, there's more that goes into it. You got to list the items. You got to take photographs. You got to. Some people do the marketing. They'll go out and do promoted listings. You got shipping, and there's just a lot that goes into it. So, Middleman Picker says, I had a very good day at yard sales. Picked up 2 video game locks and some old electronics. Awesome. Miratex7 says, what's your thought on going deep or wide as eBay sellers? I don't know exactly what you mean by deep or wide. You mean like deep in one category or wide sporadically, just selling a little bit of everything? I think you should just do what works for you. My goal this year is to try to get 10,000 listings up. So I can't have a lot of big, because I'm at 6,000 right now. So I can't have like a lot of big, bulky, heavy items because they take up too much space. So that's why I'm sticking to these smaller items like this that don't take up a lot of space. So just do what works for you and do what you enjoy and do stuff that you know something about. I think Warren Buffett said, don't invest in something that you don't know anything about, So if other people are talking about making money and selling baseball cards, but you don't know anything about baseball cards, stick to what you know, right? If someone came to me and was like, hey, I'm making a killing selling these, basketball jerseys, but if that's not in my wheelhouse, that's not in my niche, and I don't know anything about it, he might be, telling me everything he's saying is the truth for his eBay store. But for me, I would be looking at it and I would have no clue what I'm looking at. I would just be like, what is this, And if it's something that's a pain in the butt to you and you don't like I don't like clothing, I don't like photographing it, I don't like doing the measurements, Sometimes I'll take 5 photos and I'll still get messages to people wanting to know the measurements or wanting to take more photos. And I'm just not about that. I'd just rather just boop, drop it in a 6x9 padded envelope, throw a shipping label on it, and ship it out of there. So my answer would be just do you and do what works for you. You don't have to be like, I don't have to sell vintage shirts like Rally Roots. That's their wheelhouse. That's what they love to do. I don't have to do that. That's the great thing about eBay is anything that's not nailed down, you can sell it. And if it's something that you enjoy, then go after it, and it doesn't have to be the same for everybody. So if it's a category that you love and it's something that you know something about it and you enjoy it, then go with it. Jen says, I love yard sales. I went yesterday, only found a little bit of stuff. Couldn't make it today. And I wanted to say hey to Pam in the chat. Says, I love clothing, but I agree DVDs would be easier. I just don't have access to them as easily. Well, you have the internet. That's what I do. I'll go online and find big lots of merchandise, whether it's on eBay, and I'll just type in DVD wholesale lots, or I'll type in like I bought Blu-ray wholesale lots, and I'll type them in and I'll get them for $1 a piece, and then I'll come home and list them for $10, $15, $20 a piece. So my strategy is I want to buy big wholesale lots of merchandise and then chop them up. Like maybe there might be a whole box like this, like full of them, and then I'll just chop them up and sell them off individually for $10, $15, $20 a piece. And I've got 50 cents a piece tied up in it. So you can do that for anything. It doesn't have to be DVDs. You can type in, my brother, he loves selling TV remotes, and he'll type in TV remote wholesale, and he'll buy 500 of them at a time. And then they'll come to his front door and he'll have a big box like this shipped to his door. And then he'll just go and sell them individually. It's the same concept. You're buying stuff for pennies on the dollar. You have it shipped to your house, and then you sell them off individually. I just sold a remote today for $15. It's in that box over there. I got to go grab it. But I mean, that's the whole concept is we're buying stuff pennies on the dollar, and then you're trying to get retail prices for them, And the reason why I love this media stuff is because it's new in the shrink wrap. I'm not going to get returns saying the disc was scratched or damaged or it didn't fit or it was the wrong color. I don't have to deal with that. And it doesn't take up a lot of space. And I get free listings. So every month.
You do only new ones, Jeff?
Most of the time, I like doing stuff that's new in the shrink wrap. Occasionally, you'll find ones that are used that are out of print that they don't make anymore, and they'll still make decent returns on them. But I specifically look for items that are new. I got a whole box of CDs here that are new in the shrink wrap because you can ask retail prices for them. Like I could grab a CD here, and I've had some that I paid 40 cents a piece for, and it sold for 20 bucks a piece because they were new in the shrink wrap. And the customer that's looking for that particular item, they can't find it at Walmart or Target or Best Buy. They have to come on eBay to get it. And you could get retail prices. If it was used, I might get maybe $7 or $8 for it because it's new. Exactly. You get retail prices for it. And like I said, I don't get returns saying, well, my disc was scratched or damaged or it didn't work. It just works for me. Like I said, everybody, if that's not your niche and you don't like doing that, do what works for you. I'm not mad. I'm not hating on you. If you like selling clothing and you're making a killing doing that, like Angie was selling pillows. I would never sell pillows, but that's what Angie liked. You like, you got all those pillows by the dumpster and you made how much money? You made like over $1,000, right? $1,000, yeah. And me, I would have probably walked right by them. Those pillows would have sat in the rain. But Angie did well. So tell me about how you got those pillows, you boxed them up, you put them in like lots of 2, right?
Right. And so put them in lots of 2. I found 200 of them outside of Crazy Cas Boys. They literally were just going to throw them all away. And I filled up my car several times. And then I had a mountain of pillows in my living room. And we thought, what are we going to do to get rid of these super fast? So they've 2 fit in a 12 by 12 by 8 priority box if we really squished them. And we did that, listed them on Facebook Marketplace, and sold out of 1,000 or 200 pillows in just like 3 days. So it was pretty great.
Yeah, I wanted to say hey to Regina is in the chat. The Middleman Picker says, I hate clothing, but I picked up 3 sweatsuits today at the yard sale for $20. I couldn't pass them up. I can sell one for $60. Right. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome that you're able to pick that up and roll with it. I used to sell blue jeans in the past, and I would get them for $2 a piece, and then I would sell them for $20, $25 a piece. But the problem is some of these thrift stores started looking up comps, looked up prices, and now they want $5 for the same pair of blue jeans, I can get them for $2 for. And if I buy something for $5 and try to sell it for 20, there's not enough wiggle room there for me to wiggle. But if I was able to pick it up for $2 and sell it for $20, well, there's a 10x margin from $2 to 20 that I have to play with. But if I paid $5 for it and listed it for 20, and let's say a customer sent me an offer of $17, $18, well, it cut into my product. Instead of my profit margin being like this, now it's like this, and I'm doing all this extra work to make less profit. You know.
Well, I started when I go to the bins. I just started getting sealed series. So I found this the other day at the bin, so I paid $1 for it, and it sold for $25 in like 5 minutes.
See, you guys. So I just want you guys in the chat to know that I'm not making this up. When I tell you guys that you can sell merchandise, you can pick it up for 50 cents or $1. And Angie just said she picked this sealed box set up for $1, and it sold for what, $20? You said
$25.
25? Yeah. Right. Awesome. So,
and I found this one. This is actually a used one, but it is an American Girl old one, so it's out of print. And even though it's a used box set, it's selling for $50. So that's pretty good. And I think that's from watching Jeff, and he does all the DVDs so much. And I really didn't have that on my radar until watching him. And now I look, I check out, especially the box sets. That's what I try to look for when I go. So
yeah. And like I said, if you guys see something that's sealed, like something like this, it's 20 years old, that's discontinued. Whoever it is that's looking for this is the greatest events of our century or whatever it is. The people can't get this at Walmart or Target or Best Buy. They can only get it online. And so you're going to be able to charge retail prices for it. And also, like I said, if there's less competitors, you can charge up higher for it. I wanted to say to Merrick 7, he said the same here. I would never sell pillows, plush, or yarns. And I wanted to say hey to Susanna's Chronicles is here. Says hey everybody, and Regina says that's awesome. So yeah, thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with us today. We appreciate you.
I sell a ton of plush. Cool. I love to sell plush, but not everyone does. But if you know what you're looking for, like you can make a lot of money on plush, and you can get them for as low as 25 cents.
Yeah, it just depends on, I was talking to Robert, Zombie Bargain Hunter. He just sold like $4,000. Yeah, he just sold like $4,000 worth of merchandise last week on eBay, and he sells a lot of stuffed animals. But he also went and bought out some GameStops and sold a bunch of video games and stuff too. I've been trying to get him to come back on the show and come hang out with me, but he said he's having internet connection issues. So I was like, all right. I'll bug you next week. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of resellers. I mean, $4,000 a week. Think about how many hours you would have to work at a regular 9-to-5 job to make $4,000 in 1 week. Doing that, and he's able to do that working from home and spending time with his family. So there's opportunities out there. Good things come to those who hustle. That's the thing. It doesn't come to just I got lucky and I got a scratch off lottery ticket. No, you hustled. You're out here hustling and making it happen. So, Angie, I wanted to ask you a question. I was watching one of your older videos, and you used to live in Hawaii. Truth or false? Is that true?
That's true.
Tell us a story. Tell us a story about what happened there.
We actually were a military family, and so we got stationed on Oahu, which is the main island where Honolulu is. And my daughter was born in Hawaii. It was definitely interesting. It was beautiful, like weather-wise, literally all year long. But it's a little culture shock when you live there. I think people don't realize how much poverty is in Hawaii. We were shocked by it. So yeah, all the tourist things are really fun, but it's if you're stuck it's like being stuck in a little town and you can't ever escape, because if you drive a few hours, you made it all the way back home. So, but it was a great experience. I wouldn't, pass it up. And even back then I could shop at Savers because they had a huge Savers on Oahu. But in Hawaii is actually where I discovered eBay. So that was quite a few years ago. But I had a neighbor who said there's this new company that started selling stuff. You could sell it online. And I was like, that doesn't seem possible, because back then no one did that. And yep, I went on there and I started selling right away. And it was difficult back then. You had to like take pictures with your camera, go to Walmart and have them sent in to be developed, wait a couple days, and then scan the pictures. It was a process to list anything. But things went so high for everything on eBay back then because it was the only game in town. Amazon wasn't even around back then. So it was quite fun and addicting. And, the rest is history. All these years later, I'm still doing it.
I was going to say, it must be addicting if you're still doing it. I'm sorry, I got excited, guys. I just pulled this out of the lot. Sometimes when I'm opening up these DVDs, it's almost like pulling cards out of a pack. Check it out. See right here? Sells for $27.99 on eBay, and I paid 50 cents for it. So if I pull something like this, I get excited about things like this. This is like a concert album or concert DVD. Some of these concert ones sell well. So Angie, I was going to ask you, because when people lived in Hawaii, everything has to be imported because you're literally on an island out in the middle of nowhere. So like food, gas, furniture, all this stuff has to be imported from other places. So, I mean, the cost of living is high. So you were saying there's a lot of poverty. I was thinking this because the cost of living's got to be high there. It's got to be. Just because you're on an island. Everything that you have as far as food and water, gas, groceries, everything's all imported from overseas. So, I mean, I'm sure just like a gallon of gas had to be like $5 a gallon. It had to be. It had to be expensive.
Even back then. And other things you wouldn't think of. Milk was so expensive. It was crazy. So you got used to the higher prices, but there's only so much land there. So they lived ohana, meaning, ohana means family, but they all lived in the same houses. You would see families, small houses and 3 generations plus aunts and uncles that were all living in the same house in this little, it was just a different experience. And you learned really quickly that you didn't drive down certain roads because there was a lot of gangs and things back in Hawaii. Really? It was just surprising. It was a different experience when you're not a tourist in Hawaii versus when you are. Would I go back there to be as a tourist? Heck yeah, there's so much for a tourist to do. And, Hanauma Bay is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. But I was kind of relieved when we were moving after being there for 3 years because we were done. We were done with living there, which is not, no one says that when they're visiting, just to come there because it's so beautiful, but great experience.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. It sounds like to me like it would be an awesome place to go by and visit.
And D Middleman said, what about the wages? They're slightly higher, but not enough to make a difference. And unfortunately, the educational system over there is really, really, really terrible. I think the worst in the country, or if not top 3 worst. And so there's a lot of people there with very little education, and what the education they have is not good. Pretty much all the people who were military over there there was a military school that they on base that they send their kids to, or you had to pay for private school, which was extremely expensive. So, I mean, for somebody, if that's your life, you want to live on the island, and if you surf or whatever, it will be a great experience and a great place to live. But I definitely wouldn't move there with small children.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's where Pearl Harbor is over there in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. What was it like living close to the military base? You didn't have any issues or anything? Was everything cool there? Was everything kosher with the military base being nearby?
We lived on the military base. So and it was good because it was much safer because there's a lot of crime in Hawaii, a lot of theft, not so much in the tourist areas because they have security everywhere, but in the regular parts of the town was a lot of crime. So we lived on the base, so we didn't have to worry about that at all, which was a good thing, Right. Let's see. Yeah, I heard, Marrakesh, that Alaska is even more expensive than Hawaii.
Yeah.
And cold.
Angie, tell them about your show. Are you going on later with Emily Conway, right?
Yeah, tonight we Emily and Conway and I do Saturday Night Live reseller version. This week it's going to be on her channel. We start that at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, and we just hang out, talk about reselling, chat about what's happening for the week, and just have fun and have a lot of laughs. And usually have quite a few people in there, so it's really fun to come and hang out. So would love to have you guys hang out with us. And then every Wednesday I do a live stream with Bobby the Cat Guy, and that's either on my channel or his channel. Also, we go back and forth. And Jen and I are going to be doing an auction coming up on April 2nd. And I think that's going to be on her channel. So we'll have details about that coming out pretty soon. We're going to do our very first, it's going to be a sale / auction. So there'll be probably a lot of items that are just a flat rate, dollar amount, and then some items that are auctioned. But I think it's going to be, a really fun time. And we always have a great time when we do live chats, because we get kind of crazy. So you never know what we end up talking about. But
I was on with Emily Conway yesterday, hanging out with her for a while. So Emily Conway, she's always nice and happy and always in a good mood. Even when she's not in a good mood, she's probably good at faking it that she is. So she's always happy. She's always in his bubbly personality, is in a good mood. If I'm not in a good mood, I'll just tell you. I'm not gonna be like trying to cover it up. I'm like, I'm just having a bad day. I had a flat tire. It was, I'm not feeling good or whatever it is. I'll just tell you. So it says, can you drop your link? Angie's link is in the description. So if you click on the description to Angie's channel, her Instagram and YouTube is in the description below. So yeah, you can definitely go by and hang out with Angie. And you recently hit 800 subscribers. You're going to be at 1,000 before you know it, right?
I'm excited. That's going to be great.
What are you going to do? Are you going to do like a giveaway? Are you going to do like a celebration? What are you going to do?
Yeah, actually, I am going to do, I'm giving away a Rolo printer when I reach 1,000. So I'm super excited about that. It is coming up, hopefully pretty soon. I got to 800. So I'm excited about that. And it's just so nice. For me, it's all about growing the community and meeting people. And y'all know, you're resellers. It can be a lonely endeavor. So finding people that you can relate to and build friendships with and can just run ideas, off of each other is kind of great. And so I love to do collabs with people. As a matter of fact, Regina, we are going to be doing, me, Emily, Regina, and Katie Reeds are going to be doing a collab together on Prison of Profits channel. It was going to be yesterday, but I think it got postponed because he's doing that hand on the app thing tomorrow. So it'll be next Sunday we're going to do that. So all the ladies of reselling, or all the cool ladies anyways.
All the cool ones. Right. We had to clarify.
Yeah, there you go. Are going to be over on Dante's channel. And so that's going to be a fun time too. And for me, it's just a way to just have, those friendships that for years doing eBay, it was a very solitary thing. So it's just so nice to have people that are like mind that I can show them when I get something and they're like, yeah. Whereas my family is like, okay, yay. We don't get it.
Yeah, they're like, what for dinner?
Exactly. Yeah, you got another thing you're gonna list. Okay. They just don't understand how much.
Well, they're just not excited for it. Like, even if you sell something, they're just not excited about it. They're like, yeah, okay, great. Like, it's like they just don't get it. They're just like, oh, okay, great. There's not. You can't even have a conversation. They don't even want to hear it. They're just like, oh, okay, let's talk about this football game or basketball game, or let's talk about this new video game. And I'm just like, but I just sold this item for $100, and they're like, yeah, all right, so what? It goes in one ear and out the other. It doesn't register. But yeah, another thing is you can kind of learn things from other resellers. Like, I have my niche of selling media, and then I've been reaching out to Casey, the Carolina Hustler. He sells a lot of golf clubs. and I don't know the first thing about golf clubs. But now when I go by, because there's not a barcode, I can't walk by and scan a barcode and see what it's selling for. But now when I'm at a thrift store, yard sale, or whatever, I at least go by and look at it and check it out and see, like, hey, maybe this thing is worth money. I saw Casey sold one for these for $60, so I'll at least walk by and take a look and see if it's, you know, worth selling. And so, you know, whereas before I would have just walked right by it. So yeah, when you get to hang out with other like-minded people, that's great. And also maybe they could teach you something too. You know, you just never know. So
I learn every day from watching YouTubers.
Yeah.
After all this time, trust me, I don't know a drop in the bucket over you know, when you compare it to everything that's available knowledge-wise for eBay. So it's great to pick up tips every time you watch a video, and whether it's a brand new reseller or a seasoned veteran, they, you know, everyone has different specialties and things that they just know a lot about. And it's kind of great. I pick up things, like I picked this up because somebody who's into sewing said, if you ever see this, make sure you get it. It is software for an embroidery sewing machine. And I said, this can't be right. It had a price tag on it, original, of $1,300. And
wow.
I'm like, what in the world? Well, it looks kind of old, but it still sells for $125. And I paid 50 cents for it at the bins. So I wouldn't have watched that live stream where they were talking about sewing. I would have never even thought to pick that up because it just looks like something.
Like some old box. You know,
yeah.
Middleman Picker says, I'm a veteran, and Hawaii was one of the duty stations that had an option when I re-enlisted, but I was told that I would not like it, so I didn't. So now, thank God I didn't. Well, I don't know. It sounds nice to be by the beach, by the ocean. You got a lot of tourists coming in and out all the time. It sounds good. I wanted to say hey to my buddy BK from the Rockies. Thank you for coming through and hanging out. He says YouTube is a university and learning damn near everything. So yeah, it's crazy. There's so much information on YouTube for free. The Middleman Picker says, Angie, which branch of the service were you and your husband in, and was he in combat arms?
I don't know what combat arms means.
Like, were you this person like infantry, or like what was
it?
like?
No. He was Navy, and he was a nuclear engineer. And then after 10 years in, he got his nuclear engineering degree and went to OCS and became an officer. So that's what he did. I just didn't know what combat arms meant.
Okay, yeah.
He's a sailor, that's why.
Right.
But yeah, he was in for 23 years, I think. So he spent the whole time. I found this today at the bins. It's a TI.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? Everyone had already looked through the bins, and this was still sitting there. I'm like, wow, how do none of these people know how valuable this is? So if you ever see the TI 84 Plus, definitely pick it up because it is a bolo. Will get you at least $50.
Yeah. It's funny that it's like sometimes I'll watch other YouTubers, other resellers, and they'll walk by something. I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Like I was watching Rally Root, and they walked by this video game, and I was like, no, turn around, go back, get that one right there. Like, go there, turn around. So they'll be like, hey, we picked up this Mario Kart for Nintendo Wii. I was like, yeah, that's the one I was talking about. So it's funny because I'll be like, you know, telling them like, you know, over the shoulder, like, no, turn around, go back, you missed it, it's right there. And other people are like, who are you talking to? You know, it's like there's nobody here.
That's so funny. Well, I watched the bin pickers. I don't know if you are familiar with them. And the bin pickers, Michelle and Greg, they don't do any lives. They just do recorded videos. They've been doing it for quite a few years on eBay or on YouTube. Well, they always talk about buying vintage, like men's underwear and vintage jock straps. And I was always like, ooh, why would you do that? Why are you buying vintage jock straps and stuff? Well, don't you know, I was at the bins yesterday, and I'm looking through, and I pick up this box and I throw it, and then I'm like, I think that was a vintage jockstrap in the box. So I picked it back up and I looked at it and put it in my cart. Here, it's from 1960, new in the box, and it's selling for $100.
Really?
I'm like, oh my gosh. All because I watched their YouTube channel where they said, oh yeah, we always pick up men's vintage underwear and vintage jock straps. And I thought it was so gross. But here I was, because of that, I'm going to make $100 on a jock strap from 1960.
Isn't that crazy?
I know. It's like, it cracks me up.
Yeah. So Angie, who are some of the resellers that you like to watch when you have free time? Because I know it's not a lot because you're full-time now and you have your family, so you don't have a lot of downtime.
Yeah, I seem to watch a lot of smaller people that watch me. So I watch Bobby the Cat Guy. Love him. Love it with JT, and he does things every day. Emily Conway, love her. Some of the bigger ones, you know, sometimes I'll watch Harry Tornado. I still like Lindy Glenn, but you know, she's so big now that she doesn't really do lives or anything. And some of the new people, I guess, like Joey Bada Bing, he's like growing so fast. But I absolutely adore Dante, Prison of Prophets. I'll watch Katie Reeds, and she knows everything about books, so she's a great person. Fundamentals of Side Hustling, love to watch him. He has a great perspective. And then just anyone who comes in and, you know, and hangs out in the chat. I've really tried to go and make sure I'm watching anyone who supports me, their videos, because a lot of times the smaller ones, I know how hard it is when you are under 100 or under 200 subscribers to get people to watch and, you know, to just, you know, comment and things. So I really try to watch as many of them as I can, just to give them reinforcement and help, you know, encourage them to keep going.
Yeah, I try to go in sometimes and just help them get their watch time hours. I'll like leave my phone in the car and help them get their watch time hours. So I'm like running in, getting gas. Yeah, I'll be running in, getting gas or a soda or something, and I'll just leave my phone on the floorboard and just let it play so they get their watch time hours in. But sometimes I don't comment because everybody knows who I am, and I don't want to be like, "Hey, here he's in." So I'll just be like low key hiding in the background, and I'll just like let it play.
Again, here's me again.
Right, I'm here. Right, it's like because I want them to do their thing, and I don't want them to be like, "Hey, Jeff's here. Let's go talk to Jeff." And I'm just be like, "Just do you." You know, I'm here to like in the background and help you guys out, whatever I can do. But it's like I don't want to interfere with you doing your thing. So, but yeah, there's like for example, I had like Thrift Find Gold Mines on the other day. They're a small channel. They have like 200 subscribers. And before they reached out to me, I was already a subscriber of their channel, and I would be helping them get watch time hours, just help supporting them, you know, just because I've been there before, you know. And it's when you're starting from zero, the thing is everybody doesn't remember is everybody starts at zero, guys. Everybody. So don't be upset or down on yourself. Even people like Angie Resells or Rally Roots, Rockstar Flipper, everybody starts at zero. They didn't just wake up and be like, "Hey, I have 100,000 subscribers. I'm good to go." No, everybody starts at zero. So don't sweat it. And your time is going to come when it's supposed to come. There's no fast forward button. You know, you can't just, you know that movie Click where that guy has that remote and he's like trying to fast forward, like, "Oh, I have a call, I have a code. Let me hit the fast forward button." It doesn't work like that. Right? You just have to go through it, you know, and it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen, you know. But I try to tell them, like, man, it's not going to be easy, and you're just going to have to you're going to have to grind it out. As long as you don't quit, that's the biggest thing. If you don't quit, it's going to happen for you. If you quit, it's never going to happen. There's no chance of it happening if you quit and give up. So, Miratic7 says the bin pickers are the best. A lot of experience sourcing in the bins. Yeah, I went to a bin store. There's a bin store down the street from my house. I go there on Wednesdays, and everything's $1 a piece. So I go by there. But last time I went there, I only found like 4 or 5 items. But I picked them all up. There was one item. I'll go. Well, I don't have it. It's in the shed. But it was some kind of a commercial, industrial like surge thing that went to like. Anyways, I picked it up for $1, and it was selling on eBay for $50. And it was still new in the plastic, and it had a barcode. So I just scanned the barcode and put it in the cart. So even I think I spent a total of like $5 or $6 at the bin store, and I'm gonna make over 100 when the stuff sells. So if you just if you just go there and look around, you never know what you found. I thought it was here in my room. I was gonna grab it and show it to you, but I'll put it out in the shed already. Regina says the watch hours suck. So yeah, well, it's just something everybody has to go through. Middleman Picker says, I feel that the country should honor their spouses of U.S. veterans and active duty soldiers, because they've been serving right beside your spouse, and take care of everything else that we can. Yeah, being in the military is kind of a big deal. I'm a big guy, so according to my height and weight and body ratio, they wouldn't let me in the military. But both my brother and sister, both of them were in the military. My brother was in the Navy for 4 years, and my sister was in the Coast Guard for 8 years. So I just couldn't. It's not. They wouldn't allow me in. It wasn't because I had a criminal record or anything. It's because they want everybody to fit like in a little cookie cutter box.
Yeah.
And I'm just not that guy. And there's nothing I'm not going to beat up her. I just can't do it. If you are who you are. And so according to your height and weight and measurements and body fat, they won't let you in unless you fit a certain criteria. So I tried. I was actually in the Air Force ROTC for about a year. And they would run and run and run and run my butt off. And I was taking vitamins every day and doing everything I could do. But at the end of the day, they were just like, bro, this isn't, working out. And I didn't have the best grades. And it wasn't because I had like a C. I didn't have straight A's. I had like C average in college because I was doing that plus working my job and all that. When you work a full-time job and go to college full-time, your hobby is sleeping. But anyways, I was in there, and they were just like, this isn't going to work out. If you can't meet this height and weight measurements, it's not going to work out for you. So after a while, I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to driving a forklift. So you just have to work with what you got. I wanted to say hey to Chuck, Back Row Veteran is here. He says, does Angie have any tips for shipping pillows? We were just talking about that.
He's just being smart. Hey, Regina, my watch hours suck too. I still need, I think, 1,100 hours. So I feel you. It's hard. If you do a lot of lives, I think that helps. But I do a lot of lives on other people's channels. So, I need to start doing more lives on mine so that it'll help a little bit more.
Well, the thing is, it's like you'll get your 1,000 subscribers before you get your watch time hours. I think it took me about 9 months to get 1,000 subscribers, and then probably another month after that to get my watch time hours. And so it's don't fret about it. It'll happen when it happens, and you'll get there. But yeah, I definitely know what it's like when you're like, sometimes when I bring a guest on, I got to do 3 hours of research to have this person on for 1 hour. So it's like, by the time it's like, okay, I put in 4 hours of work, and then you get 0 back on your day when you could have been doing something more productive. So I definitely understand what it's like and what it feels like, but you just have to go through it. And once you get past your initiation phase, your probation period, and once you're on and you cross that threshold, once you cross that threshold, once you're in, you're good.
It seems like it's a probationary. That's a great way of describing it, Jeff.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it feels like.
It is. It's kind of like, well, are we gonna keep Angie Resells or not? You got to make it past your probation period, and once you jump over the hurdle, you're in. You're in. Mm-hmm. So, and it's not a ton of money. I mean, I showed you guys. If you guys watch my channel, I show you guys. I think I made maybe $200 a month. It's not like a deal breaker, but I'll look at it as, can I pay my cell phone bill with that? Could I pay, something? Could you something you can do? Because once you cross that threshold, you're in, and then it's only going to grow from there. I was talking to some of the other bigger channels like WBK and Harry Tornado and stuff. And WBK, I was like, bro, I don't think I'm ever going to hit 100,000 subscribers like you do. And he said, well, you just keep doing what you're doing, and you put your head down and hustle and work. And 5 years from now, you look up, and you might be there. But when it happens, it happens. There's nothing you can't sprinkle magic pixie dust and make it happen. I think reselling is way easier to me. Reselling is way easier than social media, because I don't have to see anybody. I don't have to talk to nobody. I just scan the barcode, boop, listed, shipped, and I'm through with it. That's it. But with social media, it's like you got to be engaged. You got to be active in the live chats. You got to be engaged in the community. You got to go to other people's channels and comment. The amount of work that's involved is more than what you think when you first get started. Because you'll see these people and it's like, oh, I can do that. Oh, you really? You can.
Well, and when you resell something, you put something up for sale, there's a chance it's going to sell and you're going to make some money. Whereas YouTube is literally a labor of love for a long time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to play the long game, and you got to pay the long game, and you just don't know if or whenever it's going to pay it out. But like I said, I try to look at it as just little things. I'm like, okay, at the end of the month, if I could pay my cell phone bill and light bill from YouTube, then it's worth it. Eventually, like where I live at, my rent's only $350. So by this time at the end of the year, I would like to make enough money because I have 2 roommates that I live with. So my rent is only $350. So I'm just like, man, if I could by the end of the year pay my rent every month off of YouTube, that would be one less thing you have to worry about. You'd be like basically living in a house for free. So you just have to look at it and say, okay, if I just hustle, can I do enough just to pay a phone bill or a light bill? And then it'll snowball. It's going to get bigger. As long as you are willing to hustle and work, it's going to work for you. But it ain't going to be something that happens overnight. But with reselling, I know if I sit here and list 100 items, 100 items can sell. With YouTube, you can make 100 videos and maybe 1 or 2 might get you the views or watch time hours or subscribers. So it's way harder because you don't control the outcome of it. You just control the input. You don't control the output. Whereas eBay, you can control the input and the output because you can just keep hustling and listing more items. So he says they wouldn't let my son in either because he was 6'5", 340 pounds. He was furious because he wanted to follow me, and one of my daughters got in. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about is that, the government has these standards, and if you don't meet their height and weight requirements, they won't let you in. And I was a little bit disappointed, but at the same time, there's so many other opportunities out there where you can hustle and work and make money if you're a go-getter and you're willing to hustle. Like I'm one of those people that I was just telling Angie before we went live. I'm one of those people, I got to be doing something every day. I can't sit still. I can't just sit still and just be sitting on the sofa and watching TV. I got to be doing something productive every day. I wanted to say hey to Save Here First is in the chat. Stop by to hang out with us. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with us. We really appreciate everybody that comes by to hang out with us today. And Chuck says, you did 3 hours of research on Angie. Did you find any dirt? Well, it's not so much dirt. It's like I would go and watch other people's channels or watch other people's live streams or interviews to find out information about the person that we have something to talk about. Because I can't just be like, Angie, how are you doing today? And you're going to be like, great. And that just can't be it for an hour. So you have to come up with topics because sometimes I still have things that I want to talk about, but I can't fit it into the segment. So that's a good problem to have. Versus it's just like, hey, how was your day today? How are you doing? How was the weather? Like that's not going to fly. You have to have something more than that. So just like earlier, I was talking about how Angie was in Hawaii. The only way I would know that because I had to go do my research to do all that. I didn't just say, hey, Angie, tell me about everywhere you live. They would have been like,
and then I'd be like,
who is this person? You're like, who are you? And I'm like, I gotta go do my laundry. Like it just wouldn't work out. You have to do your homework on people. It's like when I get someone to come on my show, I literally sometimes I got this guy coming on next week and I've been bugging him for a month. So it's like it doesn't always work out on your timetable. But you just have to be nice to people. And it's like I said, I have to have things to talk about with the person when I have them on the channel. So sometimes, like I said, I'll sit there like the $1 Million Peddlers, for example. I went and watched their whole live stream with Primetime. I watched their interview. That was an hour and a half for Primetime Treasure Hunter. I saw them on the Auction Professor's channel. And then I would sit back and watch another. Well, I would do it like while I'm at work. Then I would plug my phone up into my Bluetooth. So I would like listen to it. And I would do, like I said, like 3-4 hours of me doing research on the person. So when they come in, I can't just be like, hey, where do you live? And how are you doing? Like, there's got to be more interaction with that. If not, then people are going to be.
Great interview too.
Well, thanks. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. You can tell I had to do like 3 hours of research to bring these people on. So that's what I'm talking about is because I can't sit here before the show starts and ask Angie 3 hours worth of content. I have to do my homework and research before we bring these people on because they don't have time for that. They would be like, oh, I've got to go pick my kid up from school. So it just wouldn't work out that way. Anyways, guys, we've been streaming for about an hour. I want to catch everybody in the chat here that I missed. We had the Frugal Peanut Reseller is here. I wanted to say hey to Regina. Says, hey, drop Angie's link in the chat. We were just getting ready to talk about that. Angie's link is in the description down below. If you guys want to go follow Angie. Her Instagram and YouTube is in the description down below. Miratic7 says, Angie, are you finding any rare T-shirts at your local Goodwill bins?
No.
And I wanted to say hey to the flipping accountant. Hey, man, I caught your live stream yesterday. You're doing good, man. You already hit 2,000 subscribers. It seemed like last week he was at 1,000. So I'm telling you, man, the YouTube God's algorithm is just going to take off. So, yeah, prime time was on Buffalo Picker channel. Yeah, I was there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I was on the live stream yesterday with Buffalo Picker. I was one of the people that were there. He has a giveaway that he did. I didn't win anything, but it was cool to hang out with you guys. Here, I'll show you guys something real quick.
I'm going to go back and watch that. I like them both. So thank you.
Yeah, if you get a chance, you should go hang out. I did. I'll show you guys something. I was on live stream of Buffalo Picker, and I entered in a drawing, and this is what he gave me. See this thing? This Barbie doll here, it sells on eBay or Amazon for about $50. And so if you guys don't get it, he didn't pay me to do this, but if you guys get a chance, go follow Buffalo Picker, because you never know what you'll get. I was just there in the chat to support him, and he was like, hey, guess a number 1 to 50. I'll put a number in the chat, and like a week later, this showed up at my door. This is a 2020 holiday Barbie. So yeah, for sure. If you guys get a chance, definitely go support Buffalo Picker. He says, Angie, did you get your hair cut? It looks cute today.
I got it chopped off. Thank you, Marcy.
All right, awesome. So Miratic7 says interviewing people is a skill, eBay addicts. Thank you. Middleman Picker says, I have that doll. Well, if you have it, you should list it.
Sell that thing.
Yeah, this is like limited edition 2020 thing. So you should definitely list it. So anyways, Angie, tell everybody where they can go by and follow you at on YouTube and Instagram. Let them know, tell them where they can come find you at. I got your links down below, but in case they didn't see it.
Absolutely. I am Angie Resells on Instagram, and same here on YouTube. So it's youtube.com/C/Angie Resells. Love to have you come and subscribe and join me. We have a lot of fun on our lives. So, and Jeff, thank you so much for inviting me to do some listing today. I only got 2 things listed, but hey, that's better than none.
We had a good time. Tell them about your live show with your live show you have going on today. Yeah,
Emily.
Emily Conway.
We will be over on Emily Conway's channel tonight for the Reseller Saturday Night Live. That will be 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And come hang out. We just have some fun and live chats and talk a little reselling and just spend some time together.
Awesome. Well, I'll thank everybody in the chat for coming by and hanging out. You guys have a great weekend. I'll catch you next week. I got a few new guests coming on next week that you've probably never seen or heard of. One of them sells on Amazon, so I'll definitely come by and check out our guest next week and come hang out with Angie. Go subscribe to her channel, and you can just tell them Jeff sent you. You guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys later. I wanted to say hey to I for Profit and Flippin' Accountant says party tonight on Emily's channel for Saturday Night Live. Yes, it's Saturday Night Live for resellers. See you guys there. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye.